Now, high schools often struggle to keep problem students in the classroom, but one program is putting them to work.
That's right, the Beacon Foundation places students with businesses so they're work ready when they finish school. It's helping to stop school leavers from heading onto welfare. Craig Berkman reports from Ipswich.
Bellamy Davies has been a difficult student.
Good morning. Good morning.
She's trying to turn that around.
I don't think I even thought about my future much. I just didn't care.
Every Friday, the 17-year-old Bundamba High senior heads to work instead of school.
I would never go to school, and I would always be in the principal's office.
It appears to be working.
I've been catching up on all my assessments.
When Bellamy came, I think it's fair to say she was extremely shy. She certainly didn't have the confidence to look us in the eye and have a conversation.
The Beacon Foundation has connected her with office supplies company Staples.
She had absolutely no idea about what an office environment, what was involved.
We connected it to her and asked her to give it a shot and see what it could bring to her life.
I learned a lot, really, like how to interact with people and how to talk properly and what to do in situations and how to work within time frames and stuff like that.
It's a helping hand to get problem students on the right track and tackle youth unemployment.
What Beacon does is allow schools to have a vehicle to bring industry into their classroom and take students out of the classroom and experience industry firsthand so they can get a real-world insight as to what's expected outside the school gates.
The unemployment rate for 15 to 24-year-olds in Ipswich is down 1.5% on this time last year. But it's still over 17%. That's higher than the national average and represents about 5,500 young locals unemployed.
And that's almost 1 in 5 young people not in school or not studying. I'd like to think that what Beacon does is help narrow that gap and give students in that area a better opportunity.
I'm just a huge ambassador for Beacon. I love what they do. I really see the benefits in how business can become engaged, and I think that our associates here want to give back to community.
The school believes the program is a success.
We have to have industries that are committed to developing students into the workplace, and I think that starts with the connections like we have with Beacon.
I didn't even want to go to school, let alone get a job or anything like that. But yeah, I definitely will be getting a job when I leave school.
But here's one student who's gone from not having the skills and the desire to make something bigger of herself to seeing where she is now today at an organisation who loves having her come along to work, and she's got more confidence herself. She sees a future for herself.
Students in 130 schools are benefiting from the program. Craig Berkman, ABC News, Ipswich.
This past week, the Senate inquiry into the Regional Processing Centre on Nauru has heard allegations that Greens Senator Sarah Hanson-Young was spied on when she visited the country in December 2013.
Well, the Immigration Minister Peter Dutton said that there was no evidence that the Senator was spied on. The Prime Minister, Tony Abbott, said that she was being looked after while she was there. We've also had the announcement that the Greens are calling for negative gearing to be abolished and saying that it will actually bring $3 billion over 4 years to the economy. Well, for more, we're joined by Greens Senator Sarah Hanson-Young. Good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning.
If I could just begin with that announcement that the Greens are calling on the government to wind back negative gearing with the potential for $3 billion over 4 years. How likely is it that the government will actually take this up? I mean, they're not showing a great deal of support for this measure.
Well, the problem we have, of course, is that the government says there is problems with the federal budget. Yes, the biggest problem is revenue. One of the best ways to tackle revenue in this country is to look at the amount of money that is being spent on unfair concessions, and one of those is negative gearing. Generating nearly $3 billion over 4 years would go a long way. It goes to almost $42.5 billion over 10 years. That's a phenomenal response in terms of getting the budget back into surplus and balanced. This government's got to decide what their priorities are, rather than making the vulnerable, those who can least afford it, continue to pay. Let's ensure that we tackle things like whether it's negative gearing or indeed unfair superannuation contribution concessions.
Obviously, Labor have said they would perhaps support this measure. Unlikely to get through, certainly in this term.